My name is Clara. I come from Italy, central Italy, so near Florence, about an hour away. And for both in my work and private life, I use 6 foreign languages on a daily basis almost. Apart from English, it's going to be basically Russian, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, Portuguese, etc. But right now I'm trying to get to a pretty good level in Korean. So I'm just going to show you how I use Link for me in order to improve my Korean, because I've managed to have a lot of Korean friends right now. So I'm trying to have meaningful conversations with them, basically. So one thing I wanted to show you is how I use Link in order to do 2 things, which is basically what Steve talks about a lot, which is learning the big picture versus learning the nuts and bolts, the little bits and pieces of the language. So I wanted to show you how I use Link for both of these things. So let me just try to share. There we go. Here we have my screen. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep.
All right, awesome. So I'm a huge fan of learning through YouTube, learning languages, because that's how I've learned English in the first place. And I've managed to learn different languages with that as well. So I'm trying to do it with Korean. A lot of people say it's not easy to find Korean videos with subtitles, but as you can see here, I've got a playlist with things of interest. I've got about 400 videos. So that's a lot of learning. That's a lot of learning. It's gonna take me more than a year to go through all of this, but these are not, of course, videos that I've chosen like willy-nilly just going on YouTube. These are videos that are in line with my interests. So I'm just gonna share you this one here, just to give you an example for people who don't know how to import from YouTube. But you see here, we got the Korean subtitles, but you have actually Japanese, English, whatever. So these videos are awesome to use for learning. And then you can go ahead here and import them onto Link. You see here, everything's done. Korean, you can choose the course you want to put it in, and you're done. Just to give you an example, there you go, we're here. This is a lesson I've made from a YouTube video talking about single mothers in Korea. So there you go. What I like to do is I like to study it in sentence mode because I have the video on here. And the cool thing is that I like to link while watching the video, because the visual cues that I get are really good for me to actually guess the meanings of words and stuff like that. So I like to have this help as well while I'm listening. And that's how I do it. Another cool thing is that if you go here, now this is in Italian, but you can see like edit lesson. You could technically, if you have YouTube videos in your target language and English as well, you could technically put the English translation by editing here, going on clips. There you go. Translation English. You could technically copy and paste the translation. I do this sometimes for videos that are a little bit too difficult for me in my stage. So I like to have a little bit of help. Any help that I can get is good. So just to give you an example of how you could do it for this video, if you see here these little 3 dots, there you go, open transaction, and you have the English. So you can do this on YouTube as well, but I like to do it on Link, of course, because I can save words and phrases, etc. And you can go here, copy, paste it over there, save it, and then you have it. And a little example is this. I've got another lesson here. If you go on sentence mode and you tap here, there you go. I have the English translation, which always helps me instead of having a Google Translate sentence, which can be good sometimes, but when you're a little bit confused about certain types of like syntax and grammar, it can be of help using the English translation, since it's, you know, it's available. And this is for the big picture. So I like to use YouTube videos a lot, even though my Korean stage is not at a level where I can understand them and enjoy them as much as I do with English videos, but that's good since I like the videos and I like to watch them and listen to them. That's good. Now, for another thing is that you can also use this website here, which is called Korean Zero to Here. You can use it for English, Chinese, bunch of languages. And the cool thing that this site does is that if you, let's try to put like, I don't know, a random word, but let's try to see if it's good. Well, it got another word, but anyways, what you do is that you type a word in here and they give you YouTube videos related to the word that you're looking for. And if you tap here, they give you the basically the English translation and Korean, in my case, closed caption if available. So if you want to speed up your YouTube subtitles process, then you can go here. Now, for the nuts and bolts, I never do the review here because I hate flashcards and I hate being tested on stuff. I have like trauma from back in the day at university studying Japanese and having like a huge Anki deck of stuff trying to memorize all the kanji, and I honestly hate it. So if sometimes if I'm a little bit confused about some grammar points in Korean, which is a highly nuanced language and stuff, they have lots of little endings they put on stuff. What I like to do when I get curious about one of these, what I do is that I use a lot of tags and I use the notes section on the flashcards. So instead of doing the review like this, I like to filter over here. And I got a bunch of filters. I can give you an example. This one's good. There you go. So these are all words and phrases that I saved that have this kind of pattern here. This kind of pattern is a pattern I've been confused about for some time. So what I do is that while I'm reading, if I'm confused about something, I just get the pattern, Google it, and then start to save everything I see with that pattern. And then while I'm reading, if again, I see that I'm getting a little bit confused or I'm not too sure about this kind of pattern, this, mind you, is like 5% of my time. 95% is reading, listening, and everything like that. But 5% of my time is actually filtering stuff. And then this way, with this window here, instead of doing the review, I can actually see how the words change with that pattern. I can see the translations and I can see all the sentences here so that I get them in context. And then if we try to click on, maybe not this, there you go. You see here in the notes that I've pasted something from the internet that I found about that particular pattern. So what I like to do instead of review, I like to just see the phrases, see the context they're in, and then go into some of them, and eventually I'll find, if I'm still confused, I'll find some explanations that I've pasted over here. And that's it.